All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video after pulling the new Tech LR merge Zamasu. My boys, Roses, Goku Black, Zamasus, merge Zamasus, all of them finally have a 200% lead, and they all can finally work together in harmony. So you know I had to break out a 200% lead video for EZA, Rose, and Zamasu. They honestly were so good on release, but just didn't have a 200% lead, nor did the units around them, nor were they good enough to kind of really get through red zone, unless you got quite lucky. But now they all have a 200% lead. The Tech Zamasu is ridiculously good, one of the best units in the game. AGL Zamasu is getting an EZA in a couple days. We could potentially see more EZAs in part 2 and part 3 for Rose units. So now's as good a time as any. So as you can see, rainbowed level 10 links, we are ready to go. We also have them linked up with the new Tech Zamasu. We're only missing Fear and Faith and prepared for battle, but we have everything else ready. More importantly, big bad bosses. So we are starting with 197k attacks, that 176k defense. Of course, they do need to be hit to build up that key +4, the full attack and defense +120 by being hit. We're guarding for the first 3 turns as well, so we can safely do that with no problem. And of course, they do get attack +100% on super, so their attack stat will jump up. So key-wise, it actually doesn't really matter what we pick up, because we're going to get some extra key by being hit by Jeets. And let's see what they're putting out turn 1, while having the majority of their links active. So 2 attacks, one of them's a super attack. We're guarding, so it doesn't matter. 6.66. Devil. 6.6 to start with. There is 3 attacks in total. We still need to be hit. Actually, funny enough, only once more. And we've got the full key +4 and the attack and defense +120 per attack received. One thing I didn't realize, or I mean, I noticed this on the AGL Zamasu when I was going through his EZA details, is Zamasu is going to be healing at the start and end of turns, or at least in base, and then he's going to be healing continuously anyway. Rose and Zamasu, if you bring them on the same team with Tech Zamasu, which you will be, and also when AGL Zamasu EZAs as well, they're also going to be recovering 15% HP. Which, don't get me wrong, right, is good. You know, all that healing combined together on all of these Rose Zamasu units is great. But, and I said this with AGL Zamasu as well, and this is going to become even more of a problem if you do run EZA and Rose Zamasu on the team as well, is their healing combined with AGL Zamasu's healing and any other units you have on a team able to heal, it's going to make popping Tech Zamasu's domain to get infinite Zamasu out even more difficult. So all the healing, don't get me wrong, on one hand is fantastic. You know, you can recoup a lot of health, but it will make potentially getting the domain out even more difficult. So do keep that in mind. Eventually when Zamasu gets his EZA in a couple days, all that healing is going to be great. But just know it may, you know, put a halt on getting the domain out. That domain expansion, getting that popped. So we actually have guard for literally just this one more turn. We do get Fear and Faith active by having him next to Rose. Up to 374 and 436k defense. So I'm actually going to leave... Actually, no, we still need to be hit. And we lose Nightmare. That's really annoying. No, do you know what? We'll finish getting hit first, and then we'll worry about getting all those links potentially active, and then seeing what he does. So one more hit. These two are fully built up. And they're good to go. 8.77 million right now. Don't forget as well, they're all getting key +2 and defense +50% at the start of turn. As I said, all their attack literally comes on super. 100%, and the attack they're going to get for 1 turn on 18 key. The attack they're going to get for 1 turn by 30% as well. Also on 12 key. I can't wait to see what their defense gets to though. Because we're already on what? Over 400k. We're fully built up passive wise. But don't forget, we're going to be raising their defense by 30% for 6 turns on 18 key. And by 30% for 3 turns on 12 key. So their defense has got some lengths to go. So what? They appeared on turn 1, I want to say, or turn 2? I actually can't remember. I actually can't remember if they appeared on turn 1 or turn 2. Either way, we've still got a decent amount of mini stacking to go. We've still got a decent amount of stacking to go for 6 turns. See, this is why I could not wait for these guys to get a 200 lead. Not only were they ridiculously good upon release anyway, but now they have a 200 lead. Like, Rose and Zamasu are just cooking. All of them, they're cooking right now. So we're good to go. As I said, everything's fully brought up. Also, we're going to recover 15% HP next turn as well. We just need to finish stacking up that defense and see what we get to. Some additionals along the way would be nice. Again, we can raise our defense by 30% for 3 turns on 12 key on top of that. But for the most part, we're just mainly concerned about the 18 key. But hopefully we can get the double out a few times, because they are rainbowed. I mean, I don't have that much additional on them, I'll be honest. It's mainly crit. How are we linking right now? We do actually get Fear and Faith. But defensively, we're on 433k attack stat, 466 in terms of defense. There's no way we're finished. There's no way we're finished. That hasn't budged. Do not, let me leave it like this, because AJ Zamasu won't do enough damage to kill Vegeta. At least I hope so, but I don't think he will, so we should be fine. It's fine, we don't mind taking a little bit of damage here and there. So the only thing we're missing is prepared for battle, so we're only missing like an extra... Really? Brother had to crit. Brother had to crit. Here's me being like, yeah, we'll be fine. We even get the giant form transformation. God. Here's me being like, yeah, we'll be calm. We'll be calm. AJ Zamasu won't do enough damage to kill Vegeta. Ends up critting. Ends up critting. Bruh. Bruh. You know, we'll come back after this giant form's gone. All right, the giant form's gone. The giant form is indeed gone. Did we get any extra links from you? We get prepared for battle, which obviously isn't going to give us a lot. I'm pretty sure it's like, it's a key link. So we're getting like attack and defense, I think, plus 5% from it, or maybe like 10. Yeah, it's literally just giving us 5. So we'll leave them in slot 1. One thing I'm intrigued to look at is pop in one of the Zamasu's domains and combining that defensive support from Zamasu's domain with Rose and Zamasu. Like, because EZA, Rose and Zamasu are going to be some quite chunky boys with their defense while also having the domain active. So that's something we definitely need to see. The only thing is, having the likes of LR Rose and transforming Goku Black around means we're probably going to take some damage, but we can actually obviously get the domain out. You know what, let me get the domain out on... Let me get the domain out on mine, because obviously mine will do less damage. Domain activated. Cool. And then we're going to see what Rose and Zamasu... I mean, that's a lot of tech orbs waiting for us as well. We can see how Rose and Zamasu are doing with that extra, what, 60% defensive support from the domain? So this is going to be quite a nice combination. It's going to be quite a nice combination. One thing I do want to do is pull up Rose and Zamasu. I want to pull up their video from however long ago it was, and I want to see where their stats are at without a 200% lead. Like, what type of damage they're doing. Also, if you're wondering why I don't have, like, you know, Strength Rose here, because realistically right now, when it comes to like difficult content, when it comes to Red Zone, when it comes to the Shadow Dragon event, you're not going to be using him. I mean, I would, but like his support's nice, but because consistently he can't be like great, because of that final blow condition, which can be quite jarring. Like, realistically, how often are you going to be using Strength Rose? You know, okay, maybe we're not going to see the domain added on. That is a shame. That is a shame. But, you know, you can also bring Rose. Obviously, it's a possibility. And obviously, he's going to benefit from the 200% lead as well. The new Zamasu, the EZAs that are potentially coming. The AGL one that's guaranteed. Like, it's good. And he'll work really well here as well. But obviously, it's that consistency of how well he's going to perform with and without the final blow, and if you can get it. But I've actually got Rose and Zamasu's 170 lead video up. Attack-wise, 349, but of course they do get the 100% on Super, so that jumps up naturally. Defensively though, 410. 200% lead, we're in the realms of like, what, 466 I think it was? So an extra like 56k defense is in there, which is really nice. And then if we have like domain, if we had the domain active like I wanted to, but we ended up doing too much damage. If we had the domain active for that extra 60% attack, defense, you're talking like over 500k defense, maybe close to 6. Which I know nowadays in Dokkan isn't the best, especially without damage reduction, especially without guard. But just sheer raw defense is up there. And they're doing some very good damage along the way as well. But defensively, they are still very solid. They can tank the majority of basics in the game. And I know people are so heavy on like no item runs. But imagine that, you know, near enough 500k defense, or even with the domain active, over 500k defense active, with a Whis. That's tanking quite a few super attacks in the game. Now, are Rose and Zamasu perfect at this point? No, because they have aged quite a bit. Because it took so long to finally get them a 200% lead. But they do work really well on the team. And don't forget, items are always a possibility as well. But when it comes to basics, yeah, we have to tank the majority in the game, like, fairly well. Especially without damage reduction or guard. But don't forget, you can build up their passive really quickly from being hit. So you'll have guard for the remainder of like 2 turns potentially with all of that defense, which is great. As soon as you lose it, does it get a bit techie? Yeah, 100%. But out of just sheer raw defense, that's still very good. It's just a shame it took them so long to get a 200% lead. But I don't know, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I still think they're a pretty good EZA. It's just a shame it took so long. But I'll see you next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day. And peace.